Central Illinois task force focused on catching online child predators sent another man to jail.
54-year-old Brian Klein of Pontiac was arrested in February at a Colfax home where he thought he was meeting a teen for sex but met police instead. Well, today he was sentenced to 7 years in prison.
He pleaded guilty to 6 counts of indecent solicitation of a child, another count of traveling to meet the child, and illegal possession of between 100 and 500 grams of cannabis. The task force, called Crimes Happening Against Our Students, or CHAOS, is comprised of 24 police departments, including Woodford, Tazewell, Livingston, and Marshall counties.